Okay, last time I gave you a very simple 3-account solution to build wealth the easy way. But just opening accounts isn't going to make much of a difference. It's what's inside those accounts that really matters, the investments that will grow over time. So let's discuss. Hi and welcome back to the channel. My name is Pete Matthew and I'm a chartered financial planner based here in the UK. Now, investing can be easy or hard. There are tons of different ways to do it. Everyone thinks that their method is the best, the easiest, the most guaranteed to make you a billionaire. But really, investing is just this. So remember this. Investing is using your cash in the bank to buy assets that will increase in value, produce an income, or both. So let's look at a spectrum of approaches from done for you to full-on DIY portfolio building so that you can see which approach might appeal to you. And also at the end, I'll tell you which is my favorite. Okay, let's put our spectrum of investing approaches along the bottom of the screen here. And I'm going to give you 4 main levels, starting at basic here through easy, intermediate, and difficult. And we're going to start with basic. And this method of investing essentially involves handing everything over to somebody else. Now, this happens very often in workplace pensions, like Nest, for example, but also in so-called robo-advice or robo-investment platforms. Platforms such as Nutmeg, Wealthify, Moneybox, and others. Now, the idea here is that your only involvement is to choose a risk profile. This is the amount of risk that you're prepared to take in order to make your money grow. And while risk is a horrible word, it's a fact that risk and reward are intrinsically linked. In fact, without risk, your money can't grow. You can't build wealth ever. So your pension provider or robo-advice platform might ask you a few questions to try and ascertain your risk profile, maybe your time scale, and then they will do everything else. They will choose the funds, they'll choose the weightings between the different kinds of assets and maybe the different parts of the world where you will invest. You can't have any input. It is entirely done for you. And this is great if you want nothing at all to do with being involved with the day-to-day investment of your money. But you will, of course, pay for this service in the form of higher ongoing fees. Right, let's move up a notch to about here, the easy level, where you have more control over your investments, but it's still all very simple to set up and maintain. So here, you want a platform that you get to choose your investment funds. So some of the robo platforms that we mentioned earlier do give you this option. So do some of the workplace pensions. But the choices are usually really limited. So really, we're talking about investment platforms like Hargreaves Lansdown, Interactive Investor, AJ Bell, and there are tons of others available as well. So these platforms allow you to open different accounts like a pension and an ISA, and then choose the underlying investments in those accounts really easily. And the funds that you're looking for are multi-asset funds. And really these are a kind of off-the-shelf portfolio wrapped up in a single fund. And they'll often have names like balanced, cautious, adventurous, conservative, which give you a hint as to how much risk they're taking and in turn, what proportion of the fund is invested in shares or equities. By the way, I did a video about investing made simple the other week, so if terms like assets and equities are confusing to you, watch that video. I'll put a link to it up here. So you can open a pension or an ISA, choose a multi-asset fund, and essentially be done with investing until really you're approaching retirement. Seriously, there's nothing else you need to do, not really. And there are loads of multi-asset fund providers. Unfortunately, I have to be careful about naming them here because I'm a regulated advisor. So you are gonna need to do your own research, but I'm gonna help you with that in next week's video. Cool, if this is helpful so far, you know what to do. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. It really does help. So thank you for being a lovely person and helping me out. Okay, moving on to the next level on our investing difficulty spectrum. About here, intermediate. And with intermediate investing, instead of buying an off-the-shelf multi-asset portfolio fund, you build your own portfolio using funds, tracker funds usually. Now the word portfolio might sound fancy, but really it's just the combined collection of investments that you own when you view them as a whole. So in the easy stage, your portfolio might just be one fund. In this intermediate level, you're going to be blending multiple funds to build your own portfolio. And really what makes this an intermediate level approach is that you're going to need to make sure that the mix of funds that you've chosen stays broadly in line with your original intention. So for example, if you start with a 50-50 portfolio of just 2 funds, one of those funds doubles in value and the other one halves, you've now got a portfolio where one fund is 80% of the whole and the other is just 20%. And that's a very long way from 50-50, and it really changes the makeup of the thing completely. Now that's a little bit exaggerated, but funds can get out of whack. And this is usually fixed by a process called rebalancing, where you sell and buy your holdings to bring the balance back into line. Now this requires you to be a bit more involved. You're going to be reviewing the mix regularly. And as you're choosing your own funds, you will also likely be changing them from time to time. So you're going to need to understand the research process for deciding which funds to buy and sell. And then finally, there is the full-on, most difficult way of investing, which is to build a portfolio from scratch using individual shares and bonds and other assets. Basically, you're acting as your own stockbroker. Now, there's a lot of research involved here in deciding what to buy and sell at any given time, and usually there's a lot more trading at this level, continually buying and selling holdings, compared with the set and forget experience at the more basic levels. So you're going to need a platform that is set up for this kind of trading, and you're going to need to be mindful of dealing fees, which can rack up if you're buying and selling regularly. But I had one client who absolutely loved investing like this. He would spend 3 to 4 hours every day managing his portfolio. He was a retired accountant, and that's how he loved to spend his time. Fair enough, but it seems like hard work to me. So we've got our spectrum, and I said I'd let you know what my favorite approach is, and that's the easy level. Multi-asset portfolios in a set and forget approach. It's how I run my own money, and it's pretty much how the majority of my clients' money is invested. Because it requires negligible involvement, and yet it's not a total delegation that you get at the basic level. One other thing to mention is that the spectrum also is about costs. So the costs for the basic level, where everything is done for you, are the highest, and then costs kind of reduce as you move all the way through to the difficult level. Time, though, is the opposite. You'll spend almost 0 time at the basic level, tiny bit at the easy level, and then quite a lot of time if you end up at the difficult level managing your own portfolio. So I want to add a bit more detail to this next time, give you some more help choosing the funds, particularly the easy intermediate levels. In the meantime, remember, there is no right way to invest. You get to pick which works best for you. It's not like a challenge to work your way up to the higher levels like a computer game. If you want to stay as a basic investor, then that's absolutely fine. My suggestion really is that you're realistic about the time and the interest that you have to throw at your investing. And if you're not sure, start at the basic or easy levels, see how you get on. Thanks for watching once again. There's more to come in the coming weeks. Thanks for all your feedback. Please don't reply to any comment that offers to WhatsApp with me. It's a scam. YouTube, you really need to get on top of this. Thanks, folks. I'll talk to you next time.